Hello, guys. It's time for us to answer some questions here. Uh, this is our term paper. Got to have a term paper for the end of this class. I know it's a 100 level course, and it's a very simple question. Do we have free will? That's all I'm going to ask you, and we're going to go over this real quick. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not that bad, guys. Trust me. The reason I have this assignment is so that you can prove to me that you can argue a position. I need to see, can you think independently? I'm giving you some really good information here, uh, and I want you to be able to sort through this. You have to understand these things. This is the way you become a free thinker instead of someone that just, well, they believe this or somebody else believes this. Then I think, no, let's question and let's be able to prepare an argument. Uh, I need to see if you can comprehend all of this information and then process it. That's why you're having this paper project. You got 16 weeks on it. It's really not as rough as you would think. I'm not asking you to write a dissertation. I'm not asking you any crazy questions. I'm asking you probably one of the most core questions of philosophy. I don't want to make you start comparing articles by somebody like uh, we could take Spinoza and his idea of faith and Kierkegaard's idea of faith, and neither the twain shall meet. We don't need to do that. You have a 100 level course. I'm going to try to get a 100 level answer out of you. I want you to be able to tell me what you know. Now, there are some requirements for the paper. It's going to have to be over 1,500 words, but less than 2,000. You will find yourself much closer to the 2,000. I need you to cite the examples from the course text or my lectures. Now, this is easily done if you want to do it on a lecture, because I keep very ordered and very disciplined notes of what I do and when I'm in class or online. You can track it down too. But for a lecture date, just simply have the date of the lecture and the time of the lecture, and we'll know I have said that because everything's recorded now. You should not have to go to a single public library, or you won't have to do any online searches for any of your evidence. This is the best part. I'm giving you all the tools you need to give me an informed answer on this very, very difficult but very fun to answer question. And the final thing is that I don't want you to use Wikipedia at all. It is very unreliable. It's constantly changing. Anybody can go in and do this work and make these updates. And to be quite honest with you, some of the information is just wrong or is far too leaning to one side or the other. Uh, and you get into some very bizarre conversations. So those are your primary requirements. The writings we're using in the course. Now, this is, I'm handing this to you. You don't have to do any of your own research. I'm making you read it as part of the course. The course text, Looking at Philosophy by Donald Palmer, uh, it has some items that you might be able to use or some items you will need. Of course, we're going to read Plato's Republic, which is a core of any philosophy course, particularly a 100 level introductory course. You have to have this one. I make you read Meditations by Rene Descartes because we have to start figuring out the mind body problem, how this works. And you'll find out this comes into free will. We'll read the Second Treatise of Government by John Locke. This is one of the most important documents written by anyone in Western civilization because it's basically the foundation for the American Republic. And then finally, there's Friedrich Nietzsche's The Advantage and Disadvantage of History for Life, which is one of the fields I work in. I believe that history has been taken away from its original position, and we've created different types of history, and a lot of it is falling into hearsay and mythos, and we've discussed mythos earlier. Now, there are some online documents for the course that you can go to. These are also required for the readings. The Nicomachean Ethics, particularly Book 3. It's free choice, and this is by Aristotle. Uh, Meditations, books 1 through 12, Marcus Aurelius, which we read in the post-Greek period. Summa Theologica, which is by St. Thomas Aquinas. I am an Aquinian at heart. 12 years of Catholic school, grade school, and high school. You kind of get your Aquinas in. And questions 82 and 83, they specifically decide, do we or don't we have free will? Do we have free choice? And then finally, the Economic and Philosophic Manuscripts of 1844, Manuscript 1 by Karl Marx, and his take on the idea of free will and whether or not we have it. Now, these texts, I only need you to cite 4 of them. You'll need to cite it more than once, I'm sure, but I need you to have 4 separate citations. Right here, you have everything that you would possibly need. You can give a very good 100 level answer on this subject. Now, the question, is of course, do we have free will? Now, we start with the lecture on the Athenian period, which will be the next lecture I post. And I'm going to start prompting you about this question. Think about this. Is this free will? Do we have free will? How do we know? Okay. I give you 9 different sources. This way, I guarantee with those 9 sources, you never are going to have to leave the course to find references. My personal research, I do a lot of work on willing, free will, determinism, those sorts of things. And I can respond to most of your questions fairly quick. And then finally, these are also discussed in class. If we're in a classroom situation or we have everything opened up online, we can talk about these objects, free will. Do you have free will? Do you not have free will? How much does what my past experiences do determine to make my actions, and do I have free will for those actions? This is important for you as a student, okay, guys? Now, why this particular question? I do a lot of work, I do a lot of research, and I see that a lot of particularly young professors, young instructors come in and they ask you some very modern questions about philosophy, which are feelings and belief questions. I don't want that. I don't care what you feel. Your beliefs are not as important in this as you're being able to give very good reasons for a premise that you're going to give me a statement. I believe that I think we have free will. I do not think we have free will. Here's my premises supported by X text, X text. We'll go into this as the semester goes. I want to make sure that you know how to think. How to think. Not what to think, how to think. I don't care if you think something, you have to be able to prove why you think that way. And saying something like, well, it's just everybody knows that. Well, that's not a true statement. We need to know why everybody knows this. Where have they found this information? And I have found, because I originally said, when I started teaching this, I wanted to know, how would you go ahead and do this course? What has this course benefited you? How can you use this? And I did that for a couple of years, and I found the papers to be very dry, very unchallenging. So I changed it to make you understand that you have to base your argument on reason, not your emotions. And the easiest way I can do that is I'm giving you these documents in class. These are the texts. This is the perfect place to work from. You can come up with a multitude of different answers here. You can run down as many rabbit holes as you want because, even as a person, I don't know if we have free will. I would like to think we do, but maybe we don't. The final thing that I want you to know is that this is 16 weeks on. So start on this as soon as possible. It's 2,000 words, guys. Start on it as soon as possible. Get with me as many times as you need to. We will talk. I will help you as much as I can. As I said, my goal is to send you out with the ability to think independently, to make your own decisions. It's my job to teach you how to think, not what to think. Okay? And by doing this little exercise here gives you the first tool that you're going to need to be able to start to discern with all of the things that you see going on during the day, from the news media, from what you see on social media, what you hear friends say, what you hear other people say. You should not take anything just simply as you've seen it because it makes you feel good or it supports your position. What we're doing here is we're learning to question, okay? And one of the ways of questioning is to be able to produce this type of a simple paper on a very simple question. Do we have free will? And you're going to find it is not a simple question, but it's simple to write on. And I expect you to do a very good job. And I expect you to ask me questions. So if you need anything, all the particulars are in your syllabus. Feel free to contact me through the proper channels. And have yourself a good day.